As you can see, the final preparations are getting all set to go here at Budweiser Gardens. As we're just a few moments away from the start of London Lightning basketball here on Knockstrom TV, as the London Lightning are almost set to go to take on the visiting St. John's Edge. Good afternoon, I'm Justin Prince, and welcome to the Knockstrom pregame here for tonight's broadcast here from London, Ontario. As we are coming into today's game, it should be an exciting matchup, that's for sure. Now, to get things started for those coming in, here's the need to know for tonight's broadcast. First things first, if you're following the St. John's Edge, you may or may not on Friday night have seen an absolutely big performance. And that, of course, was Charles Hinkle coming away with a 53-point performance coming into tonight here against the London Lightning. That was against the Windsor Express this past Friday at the WFCU Center. It was 53 points, 12 three-pointers, and 12 rebounds in that game. All of those were close to MBLC records. Of course, Devin Sweeney, for example, has the points scored in a game record at 56. He's going to be somebody that the London Lightning are going to be having to stop for today's game for the St. John's Edge side. As well, the St. John's Edge, just to note for the starting lineup tonight, it will be Alex Johnson starting along with Rayshawn Bourgeois, as well as Carl English, Charles Hinkle, and once again, Grandy Glaze, pardon me. So it's going to be a hard, difficult starting lineup. Coach Keith Vassell, the head coach of the London Lightning, told me just a few hours ago that the main focus for this team was to focus on the transition offense. It's going to be a moment where they're going to do exactly that for today's game. We're going to see how things transition, though, because, of course, St. John's does play a fast tempo of offense, and they are a team where they can score the ball at will. London, meanwhile, is coming off a game a few days ago, and about 8 days ago, I should say, where they played that Express team, where the Express team, Windsor Express, played a game of a lifetime, so to speak, in terms of shooting. Shots that were falling from the Budweiser Gardens logo. Shots that were falling in double teams on fadeaways. It was a game where, if you're watching, everything was going in like the basket was a hula hoop. Tonight, the London Lightning are going to have to hope it's not the same thing for the Edge. For the London Lightning, they're going to be starting off tonight's game, of course, with Marcus Capers in the starting lineup. As well, starting along with them is Vahimi Dallenbert, along with Joel Friesen-Laddie, Ryan Anderson, and of course, Garrett Williamson. Ryan Anderson returning from a suspension from the game incident that him and Royce White had against the Niagara River Lions. That was about a week and a half ago. Royce White, of course, if you have not been following the news, is still serving the suspension at this time. Now, of course, there's a lot to focus on, but now it's almost time to get all set to go here. A minute and 30 seconds before the start of action here from London, Ontario. As one thing to also note, if you are a fan, why don't you donate to the Salvation Army Toy Drive that's taking part here today? Because this London Lightning are raising donations for toys for their drive, unopened, unwrapped presents, as it's time for a gift of giving. If you're the London Lightning, they're probably thinking it's going to be a time to get a gift of a win. They're coming in 2-5 on the season. They're looking to turn things around starting today, this afternoon here from the Forest City. Once again, I'm Justin Prince, and this has been your Knockstrom pregame. Tip-off is just a few moments here from London, Ontario, as the Lightning are almost set to take on the Edge. Once again, you're watching Knockstrom TV. And a great performance there, as you heard, by St. Jude Catholic Elementary School. As everyone's almost set to go, the Edge are going to try and dominate with the Rock as they're all set to take on the Lightning. Good afternoon, I'm Justin Prince once again here on Knoxstrom TV for today's coverage of NBLC action on an action-packed Sunday afternoon. All 10 teams are in action for today, so it's going to be one of those days where you enjoy watching the action. Be sure to stay around with the rest of the action across the league. Once again, it is the London Lightning taking on the St. John's Edge. London coming in 2-5 on the season. St. John coming in 8-3. That is tops in the Central Division, as they'll be all set to go and be led by the core of Carl English, Charles Hinkle, and Grady Glaze. All three have been making standout performances so far, along with Alex Superman Johnson. Of course, all four are in the starting lineup for today for the Edge, along with Rashawn Bourgeois. For the London Lightning, once again, for the starting lineup, it is Joel Friesenlatte, Ryan Anderson, Garrett Williamson, Yohini Dallenbaird, and moving into the starting lineup as well, Marcus Capers. As you see on your screen, things getting underway for the ceremonial tip-off with today's sponsor for the stadium itself, for Aliva. But one thing to really note as well, Royce White still serving his suspension at this point for the next couple of games. He is a scratch, of course, for today's game, along with Mo Borden. Mo Borden still recovering from past injuries. As we're just a few moments away from the start of action here from London, Ontario. It's going to be an exciting one, that's for sure. Once again, one thing to watch for in terms of St. John's is the transition offense and their offense in general. They're one of those top teams in the NBLC for a reason in the early going so far. If you look at the stats for the rest of the league, they are tops in field goal percentage in the league, tops in three-pointers made per game, top in three-point percentage, and also in the top for assists per game. They are a team that is an offensive powerhouse for sure, as they come in with still a sky-high points per game average, about 111 points per game. Last season of note, London was around that range with the championships, just to swing it for the localization. But for the London Lightning, they'll be coming in trying to compete hard and allowing, in terms of opponents' points allowed a game, the most in the league, 112.9 points per game. As the dance pad gets all set to go here from London, Ontario, here on Knoxstrom TV. A lot of things to take note of across the league if you're just tuning into our coverage here on Knoxstrom TV for London Lightning basketball. Let's get you to the rest of your scores currently going on across the NBLC at this very moment, of course, with all 10 teams in action across the league for today's action. Starting off with your scores across the league, let's head on to Moncton in the St. John Riptide, as they are just about to start off the third quarter. Moncton on top, 49-48, as that game has been entertaining so far. Cape Breton Highlanders lead 60-50 over the Niagara River Lions at halftime in their matchup. Well, Halifax, they are up big, 59-30 so far, entering the third quarter. In what has been an absolutely dominant game for them so far. Leading the way for that Halifax Hurricane squad, Antoine Mason, 13 points, with C.J. Watson, Washington, also putting in an extra 12 points. So a lot to watch for across the NBLC, of course. Taking place down the 401 is going at the moment. Right now, the Windsor Express taking on the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. That one exciting, that one for sure. That's an hour one tipping off in just a few moments. But with that, we're just about to start with player introductions here from London, Ontario. Welcome back, everyone, to Knoxstream.tv. Having to take a quick breather here as the London Lightning are all set to go to take on the St. John's Edge. As you see your starting lineups coming up on your screen right now, everyone getting all set to go. As this is going to be a fun matchup for sure once things get underway. As we are just moments away from the start of NBLC action here from London, Ontario. The players to watch for the London Lightning side today, Garrett Williamson, definitely one of those players, averaging 18.9 points per game so far on the season, as he is the leading scorer active for today's game, along with his 6 rebounds and his 4.7 assists. Expect him to also step it up along with Joel Friesen-Laddie, 13.4 points per game, making his 8th start on the season and as many games as he has so far shot on the season, about 35% from the field and from the 3-point stripe. That's just about getting everything set to go as everyone's just finishing up. Once again, as Little Flash stands in the middle of that court and everyone gets all set to go. Keith Vassell, once again, head coach for your London Lightning. And as you are hearing in the background, the fans getting set to go here at Budweiser Gardens. As everyone stands until the first basket is made here in London, Ontario. For those tuning in from across the province and across the country, we welcome you to London basketball. It's going to be interesting to see who will be able to defend the rock, whether it will be the St. John's Edge from Newfoundland and Labrador, or will it be the London Lightning be able to defend their home floor. As the fans get all set to go. Everyone getting set for the opening tip as we are just about set to go. London Lightning about to take the floor. St. John's Edge sets up at center court. Thanking everyone with the referees. We're just about set to go. Once again, for the 3rd time, just in case you do not know those starting lineups. Marcus Capers starting alongside Garrett Williamson, Yohini Dallenberg, Joel Friesen-Laddie, and Ryan Anderson for the London Lightning. For the Edge, it is Alex Johnson, Rashawn Bourgeois, Carl English, Charles Hinkle, and Grandy Glaze. As we're almost set to go, here we go. As they set up for the opening tip, it'll be Dallenberg in the opening circle for the London Lightning. For the St. John's Edge, it'll be Grandy Glaze. As everyone all set to go, as here we go, folks. You're all set to go for an action-packed Sunday. As the Edge win the opening tip-off. Pass to English as it goes around to Glaze. Johnson guarded by Anderson, coming around, contested 3-point shot. That one's good from Carl English. And Carl English, the Canadian veteran, able to make the first basket of the game just like that in the first 15 seconds. As London sets up for the first possession, Capers sets up the offense, coming around Friesen-Laddie. Friesen-Laddie lates, hesitates, gets it down low into the post to Williamson. Williamson passes, Capers wide open for the triple. That one's no good, rims off the front rim, rebounded by English, as here comes the Edge. Gets it off to Charles Hinkle, and Charles Hinkle off to a quick start. Already his first basket of the game. Just like that, a 5-0 run, just like that. London almost turns it over. In fact, will turn it over. Williamson can't complete the pass there as that one goes out into the grandstands. A 5-0 run in the first minute, not something you expect to see, or want to see, I should say, if you are a London Lightning fan, as fans continue to stand on their feet waiting for the first Lightning basket. Edge set up on offense. Hinkle waiting on the high post, gets it to Glaze. 10 on the shot clock as English pushed way up the court. Pick set by Glaze, down to 3, pick and roll. Glaze gets it over, Capers can't get it in, almost tapped in from Johnson. Rebounded it as here comes Capers. Capers gets it to Williamson. Williamson is blocked by Hinkle. And Charles Hinkle, the 29-year-old, gets the block. Known, of course, from every stop he's made internationally for scoring and rebounds, with playing experience in Turkey, Hungary, Israel, Japan, and the NBA G League. And, of course, fresh off his 53-point performance, Ryan Anderson, he's going to allow the fans to sit down as he makes the triple. London's first points of the game. And Ryan Anderson with the triple makes it 5-3 to start things off. 1 minute 40 seconds into this one. Hinkle off to a quick start. 4 points just like that. And he's got 4 straight points now for the St. John's Edge. Ryan Anderson drives right on by English. Talk about a nifty move with a crossover on the right side as Alex Johnson sets it up for the Edge. Very quick response of a play right there. As the Edge setting up, Hinkle sets up inside of Carl English, waits and hesitates, draws the end one. And a smart play from Carl English, the 36-year-old, signing with his hometown team this past offseason. And of course, having a great start to the NBLC season. Already second in points per game in the league with 25. As he's going to go to the line to shoot one. These will be, once again, making the nice free throw. Gets it now, doubles them up. 10-5 to start things off. Quick whistle. And we're going to have an inbound on the side. That one tapped out of bounds from the Lightning. That is a kick ball violation. Anderson inbounds it to Capers. As Capers drives right past Hinkle. And nice basket there from Capers. Able to get it in the contested layup. And the Edge going for a quick tempo on offense. Passing around to Glaze. Bourgeois. Bourgeois waiting. Capers trying to keep the hands up. Man-to-man defense. Glaze comes for the pick on English. Setting up in the corner is Superman Johnson. Misses. Rebounded by Glaze. Glaze pump fakes. Kick at the basket. Rebounded by Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson's off to the races as he gives it off. Joel Friesen-Laddie passes out to Capers. Capers for his second three-point attempt. This time it's good, wide open. Marcus Capers ties it up at 10 apiece, just like that. And we're on a scoring bonanza once again here in London. 3 minutes into action here at the Budweiser Gardens. As Glaze passes out to Superman Johnson. Johnson goes for the jump shot, misses. Hinkle can't get the rebound, tapped around off of Joel Friesen-Laddie, and they roll it. Goes to the London Lightning. And it's Lightning ball with 8:48 to go here in this first quarter. Both teams making 4 shots apiece so far in this one. 4 for 6 for the Lightning, 4 for 9 for the Edge so far. Alon with 2 for 3 from deep for the Lightning. As Capers gives it off, Anderson for the triple. That time just rims out. Rebounded by Hinkle. As Carl English will bring it down the floor. English able to get Joel Friesen-Laddie off of his heels and able to make the basket. An absolutely great start from him so far in this one. That is now 9 points, just like that. Foul called on the pass attempt, as this is going to be inbound on the side. And Rashad Brandes, his first foul, team first for the St. John's Edge. As Joel Friesen-Laddie will have the inbound for the Lightning. Gives it off to Capers. Down to 13 on the shot clock as Capers going for a slow tempo on offense. Williamson gets it quickly to Anderson. Anderson drives, and he draws the foul. That was just as the shot attempt was going off. Ryan Anderson will go to the line to shoot 2 for the first time tonight. The Lightning having 5 points each for their 2 scorers. Marcus Capers and Ryan Anderson, 5 points apiece so far, as Anderson sets up at the free throw line for the first time tonight. Ryan Anderson able to make the first of 2. He is a 94% shooter on the season from the line so far this year. As he's going to try and get this to a 1-point game, does exactly that. The St. John's Edge up 13-12 so far in this one. Passing down low, Charles Hinkle. Gets it to English, draws the foul for the push. And that's going to be the Lightning's second foul. And Joel Friesen-Laddie able to draw the foul as they'll set up. Gets it right to Carl English. Wide open is Glaze inside, able to get the slam dunk. My goodness, wide open by a country mile as that makes it a 3-point game. Ryan Anderson trying to draw the foul. Ryan Anderson just pulls up for 3 after getting the ball right back, bounces around. Dallenberg gets the rebound, misses, and rebounded once again from the Lightning. They get a third opportunity just like that. Gets it to Dallenberg inside. Dallenberg almost lost it. Yohini Dallenberg gets the jump ball. Possession arrow towards the Lightning as they will keep the possession 15-12. With 7:28 to go here in this first quarter so far. And Ryan Anderson will have the inbound, gets it to Dallenberg. 10 on the shot clock as Anderson gets it back. There's the switch. Carl English guarding on Capers now as Anderson passes it out to the corner. Garrett Williamson misses. And there is Grandy Glaze with the rebound. There's a reason he's the leading rebounder in the NBLC as Alex Superman Johnson makes the jump shot. 5-point lead now for the St. John's Edge. Quick pass across. Capers looking for a second three of the game. That one's no good. He's 1 for 3 from deep so far in this one as Johnson gets it across. English backs off, gets the pick from Glaze. Steps back, gets the jump shot for the three. Yes, he's got it. And Carl English with another triple. So a good start for Carl English so far in this one. That is now 12 points on the night in the first quarter, in the first 6 minutes so far in this one. As driving inside, Joe Friesenladdie able to draw the foul. That is ruled on the floor. As that's going to give London Lightning an opportunity for the first substitutions. Martin Dixon Green will come in along with Sefton Barrett. Coming in with Kirk Williams Jr. As that's Marcus Capers and Garrett Williamson who will be coming off the floor now for the London Lightning. Friesenladdie will inbound it. Gets it to Kirk Williams Jr. and whistle called on a tie-up between Bourgeois and Ryan Anderson. And that is already the team's 4th foul for the St. John's Edge. Just 2 fouls for the London Lightning in this quarter so far as it's inbounded quickly to Anderson. Anderson trying to get to Friesenladdie. That one's stolen by Johnson. Johnson goes inside for the layup, and that one rolls in for the basket. And it's now a double-digit lead. And just like that, the Edge starting to take some momentum in this one. Alex Johnson now with 4 points on the night. As Dixon Green gets it now. Ryan Anderson, contested shot misses, tapped out. Rebounded by Charles Hinkle. Able to pass it forward as this one brought in across the court to Carl English. Back to Johnson. Johnson for the triple misses. Rebounded by Ryan Anderson. Just past halfway in the first quarter as going inside to Dallenberg. Quick offensive play. Drawing the charge is Johnson. And that's going to be your immediate timeout. The score 22-12 for the St. John's Edge after 5:44 to go here in this first quarter. We're going to take a quick break here on Knoxstrom TV. You're watching London Lightning basketball here from Budweiser Gardens here in the Forest City. And welcome back, everyone, to Knoxstrom TV's coverage of London Lightning basketball here from London, Ontario, the Forest City. As if you're just tuning in, the St. John's Edge are up 22-12 so far in this first quarter, with a great performance for them so far. A 22-12 run, of course, for the quarter. In terms of shooting, they're shooting the lights out. 60% from the field, 9 of 15 for the St. John's Edge with 3 triples, along with just 4 of 12 shooting for the London Lightning. Leading the way right now, and the main person for this lead so far, Carl English. 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from deep, along with a 3-point play. That is his only basket inside the 3-point line so far. He also has 1 rebound and an assist. As Grandy Glaze also getting a lot of rebounds, 3 rebounds so far on the night. Ryan Anderson, He's leading the way in scoring for the Lightning, but he's been struggling shooting. 2 of 5 shooting, 1 for 4 from deep. As we're back underway here from Budweiser Gardens, as they get all set to go. Gets it inside to Jerron Henry, passing around to Hinkle. Shot on the outside to Desmond Lee, and that's going to be out of bounds. As you may have noticed, one thing that a lot of players have to get used to in this league is the borders of the court where it's not a solid color. That leads to the out-of-bounds play there for Desmond Lee. Poked away, meanwhile, from Ryan Anderson, able to keep it away from Johnson. Anderson passes across in between the wickets, as that was to Brian Agumbe, as that one's a big-time turnover, helping keep the St. John's Edge run continuing to go, as Johnson able to get to Hinkle. Hinkle gets the separation, trying to get it down low to Jerron Henry, as there's the whistle down low, as that's going to be the London Lightning's third foul. Johnson will set up for the inbound. And Johnson gets it right to Hinkle. Hinkle can't make the basket. Anderson gets the board. Ryan Anderson with his third rebound on the night as Friesen Laddie steps up, tries to get the shot. Unable to get it right over Johnson, as Johnson will lead them back down the floor. Coach Vassell already making quick adjustments meanwhile, as that one good for the pick and roll to Henry. And that doubles up the points now for the Edge compared to the Lightning. 24-12, just like that. As a dominant game so far from the Edge. That one, another turnover. As that is going to be the Lightning's, in terms of turnovers, the Lightning's now 5th turnover. That one landing in the second row. There's a bad turnover there for the London Lightning. Johnson will bring it back down the floor now for the Edge. Trying to keep this run going. As able to get to English. English gets it over. Kirk Williams Jr. tries to get another 3. That's his first miss on the night. As Capers brings it down right to Kirk Williams Jr. Back to Capers. Gets it to Kyle Johnson, and Kyle Johnson misses. Rebounded by Alex Johnson. Talk about the circus act to stay inside the line. Able to keep the possession going. Johnson gets it to Henry. Passes out to Hinkle. And Desmond Lee gets it right back. Gets it back to Henry. 9 on the shot clock. Guarded by Kirk Williams Jr. Gets it to Lee. No, that one's stolen. That one was tipped. Getting it inside as here comes the Lightning break. Kirk Williams Jr. steps inside the three-point line. Dixon Green comes around, gives it to Johnson. Agumbe. He's stripped absolutely cleanly by Henry as Henry leads the charge. Johnson drives inside. Johnson gets the basket in the roll. As Henry went flying into the stands right after. Whistle called just after that. And that's going to bring in Wally Ellenson now, who recently signed with the Edge this past week for St. John's. And our recent signing, Kyle Johnson, making his first appearance with the London Lightning this season tonight, as he will be the one with the inbound. 5 fouls for the Edge, 4 for the Lightning so far. And quick inbound to Capers. Able to get it around to Dixon Green. Back to Capers. As it goes back to Dixon Green for the triple, he's got it. And able to break the scoring drought that lasted for the past 3 minutes. As now that gets it now to an 11-point game here in London. Jerron Skeet gets it to Carl English again. Just couldn't get the lucky roll. As that one misses. Kyle Johnson going to get the pick from Agumbe, and that's a moving screen of Agumbe. And now that's going to mean the St. John's Edge will get the ball right back. Henry will have the inbound on the side. And Skeet sets up the offense now, getting a pick quickly from Henry. A hard screen, multiple hard screens, as driving inside is Jaron Skeet. And gets the lead back up to 13 for St. John's. 2 hard screens there. You've seen there. Carl English also setting another one. Johnson going to step back for the jump shot. Just gets to the bounce out. Chasing around and rebounded, picked up from Wally Ellenson on the save from the bench. English will step back as he's guarded by Kyle Johnson. Whistle down low. And that's going to now be the 5th foul of the quarter for the Lightning with about 2:11 to go here in this first quarter. Check that. That's the team 6. Gumbe will come out now for the London Lightning. Coming into the game for Carl English now for the St. John's Edge substitution, Rashawn Brodas. As Brodas will get the ball quickly. Lee coming around, trying to set for the three-pointer. Skeet as well, going for a bit of an isolation offense on this one with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Henry now in the high post, guarded by Dixon Green, gets the spin move, drives inside, gets it right before the buzzer. And that stretches the lead right back to 15. Once again, doubling the London Lightning in this first quarter. Dixon Green draws the foul before the drive. As that's going to be now the 6th foul, 1 away from the bonus for each side. And that is the team 6th timeout called from the London Lightning, and a much deservingly won. 31% shooting now from the Lightning from the field tonight. 7 turnovers. They have just not been looking good. That also includes allowing 16 points inside the paint from the St. John's Edge. As you see the discussions there, Keith Vassell wanting to make these discussions, of course, and adjustments. You gotta, at this point, in my opinion, get that paint locked down and not leave the paint wide open. It has been open on the pick and roll a lot so far tonight. Well, for the St. John's Edge, you got to just keep what you're doing going and get ready for those set adjustments you know Keith Vassell is having in his huddle. It'll be interesting to see what those decisions come around to here in London. Of course, there's a lot of action going around across the NBLC today. We are not the only game, obviously, to give you scoring updates in the third quarter. St. John Riptide up 57-50 over Moncton. Cape Breton and Niagara 66-62 for the Highlanders. While for the Halifax Hurricanes 71-46. Windsor and Kitchener-Waterloo now in the second quarter in a close one, 30-29 down there. As the London Lightning come and take the floor once again, set up for the free throw, for the inbound, I should say. Quick to adjust, setting up across the floor. You can tell the fans waiting for something to cheer for. Williamson gets the inbound as Capers will drive inside. 1:42 to go. Capers gets the basket and breaks up the quick 6-0 run. As he'll be brought down by Skeet. Gets it to Henry. Across now to Lee. Desmond Lee waiting for the rest of the play to develop. 3 players setting up in the post. 3-2 setup on the offensive scheme as Henry in the post. Gets it over Kirk Williams Jr. Misses. Able to get his own miss and able to get the basket. And the lead is back up to 15. It has just been absolute domination inside the paint. 18 of the Edge's 32 coming in. A big block, meanwhile, on the edge side of the floor. Skeet gets it to a wide open Wally Ellenson. That one's no good. Rebounded by Capers. As Capers gets it quickly across to Williamson. London trying to match the tempo from the edge as Capers. 4 straight points now from him. Marcus Capers from Winter Haven, Florida, able to make the basket. With less than a minute to go now here in London for the first quarter. Brodas will set up the offense, and a moving screen, I believe, ruled. It's going to be charged on the London. Kirk Williams Jr., his first foul, and that's going to put the St. John's Edge in the bonus and bring Jerron Henry to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Jerron Henry able to make the first free throw as he is on the season an 81% shooter, averaging about 7 points per game on the year. Also adding in 6.8 rebounds. That stretches the lead now to 34-19. As Dixon Green drives inside, able to draw the foul. Lightning are now in the bonus, and it's going to be Martin Dixon Green now to the free throw line. And Martin Dixon Green, one of the many Canadians in this league, coming from Scarborough, Ontario, sets up for the free throw line for the first time tonight for him. An 80% shooter coming off the bench. He's made 3 starts as well in the season as he makes the first free throw. On the season, he's had about 16 minutes a game, able to make that one and bring the lead down to 13 once again. Less than 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Brodas sizing up, gets it to Ellenson. Almost lost the handle. That one tapped off of Lee, I believe, as that's going to be the London Lightning possession. And a costly turnover. Ellenson not agreeing with the call. But regardless, it'll be Johnson setting up, getting it to Capers. Shot clock is off. Capers setting up. Going to be waiting for the last second shot. Johnson and Kirk Williams Jr. will set up for the screens. Gets it to Johnson. Williamson moving across. Johnson with the contested 3 misses, trying to get the rebound inside. That one's no good. And with that, the St. John's Edge, they are red hot to start off this one. They are up 34-21 after 1 quarter of play. And with that, we'll be back in a few moments here on Naxstrom TV with more coverage of London Lightning basketball. Once again, the Edge up 34-21. The fans are getting ready to slam and do the jam, but they might not be in the exact same mood to do that as the kids dance from STEM camp. The St. John's Edge up 34-21 after 1 quarter of play, in part because the Edge, well, they've been red hot from the field. 56% shooting for the corner, leading in the rebounds by 2, leading the turnover game 7-3. In terms of less turnovers and having better bench scoring and scoring in the paint, 18 of the 34 points inside. The London Lightning have just been struggling on the offensive side all game long. Just 7 made shots from the field. 3 of those happened from outside the arc, shooting 33%. And that's a reason why they are struggling to keep up with the red-hot Edge. Carl English leads the way in scoring still with 12 points, 4 of 6 shooting. Jerron Henry, he's moved up in a second in scoring for the Edge meanwhile, in part because those 2 free throws, 8 points on the night with 2 rebounds. So a good attack inside for sure as well. Randy Glaze still with 3 rebounds. Alex Johnson also up there in the rebounding game. Marcus Capers, somebody you don't quite expect to be the leading scorer for the London Lightning, leading the way on the score sheet for them. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, as the Edge will start off with the first possession of the second quarter. As we're back underway here from London. And that one lost the handle there was Desmond Lee. On the floor for the Edge, Desmond Lee along with Jaden Skeet. Along with Brodes. Also Jerron Henry, Wally Ellenson rounds out the 5 on the floor now for the St. John's Edge. As Ryan Anderson gets the pick from Kirk Williams Jr., gets it to Johnson. Johnson waits, drives inside, passes it back out on the step back. Back to Johnson, guarded by Henry Hard, as they get it right to Capers for the buzzer-beating shot, misses, rebounded by Wally Ellenson. On the floor for the Lightning is Garrett Williamson along with Ryan Anderson, Kirk Williams Jr., Marcus Capers, Kyle Johnson. As Jerron Henry gets it inside to Ellenson, pump fakes, almost lost the handle. As he's going to wait, gets it off to Henry for the three-point shot, misses. And no box out whatsoever as Skeet gets the quick offensive rebound. Brodes will drive, gets for the jump shot from mid-range, misses. Williamson gets the board. 1 minute into the second quarter here in London as Kyle Johnson, he's going to make the jump shot. And Kyle Johnson with a much-needed shot for the London Lightning. His first basket after starting 0 for 3 from the field. Lightning trail by 10. As Brodes sizing up, moving right inside the key around Lee, gets it back to Henry. Henry pump fakes, spins, goes for the fadeaway post shot, misses. Williamson gets it. And the London Lightning starting to swing momentum, but a whistle off the ball coming down the floor. And that's going to lead to substitutions coming onto the floor now for the St. John's Edge. Alex Johnson coming along with, Charles Hinkle. Also joining them on the floor is Grandy Glaze once again. And it's going to be a double foul, offsetting fouls, I should say, coming on the floor. Marcus Capers being given one of those fouls as the Lightning set up for the possession. A lot of isolation type offense waiting for the end of the shot clock here tonight so far. Kirk Williams Jr. backing out of the post. Johnson gets it back to Kirk Williams Jr. Open for the three-pointer. Yes, sir. Kirk Williams Jr. a 6-0 run on 2 straight made shots from the London Lightning to start off the second quarter. Carl English sizing up Johnson. Gets it over Johnson and gets the bank shot to roll. And yes, the bank is open on a Sunday afternoon. Gets it to a 9-point lead now for the Edge. As Anderson gets it, almost lost the handle. In fact, that was losing the handle. That one's out of bounds. Another London Lightning turnover. As that's going to be turnover number 8 for the London Lightning. They have had a hard time hanging on to the ball. A lot of passes going out, and that time, the dribble going out. Brodes setting up the offense. Getting it to Post and Hinkle. Single coverage from Johnson. Missed though is Hinkle. Rebounded by Glaze. And Glaze able to glaze that rebound and seal it up. As Johnson goes for the jump shot. Misses short. And a foul. It's going to be called on a reach-in. And the fans not happy with the call. And they're going to call a foul on Marcus Capers, his second, the team's second in the quarter. And the Edge will now set up for the inbound, keeping the possession after the missed jump shot from Johnson. Hinkle trying to pivot his way around Williamson. Passed around, able to get it to Brodes. Brodes drives inside. That one's good on the layup. Brodes able to make the layup. And that makes it 38-27. Kyle Johnson now calling for the pick. Capers will set up the pick. Guarded by Hinkle. As Williams Jr. open for the three-pointer. Once again misses. And a battle for the rebound. Goes a blunder, but Glaze comes up with it. And kept alive. Brodes brings it down. Gets it now to Johnson for the three-pointer. That one is long this time. Williams Jr. can't keep it in. Edge will keep possession as it's ruled off of Brian Anderson. And that means now it's still an 11-point game, 8:26 to go. Johnson will set up for the inbound. Guarded hard by Johnson on the inbound as they get it to Glaze. Johnson drives inside over Williams Jr. Gets the bank shot to go. And stretches the lead to 13. And just like that, the London Lightning's momentum at the start of this quarter is already going out the window. Ryan Anderson passing around Williamson. Johnson Able to draw the reach-in foul on Johnson. Alex Johnson, I should say, ruled on the reach-in. Kyle Johnson, the one going to be setting up for the inbound. Joel Friesenladdie will now come in for Marcus Capers. As the London Lightning keep possession. 11 on the shot clock. Three-pointer on the outside. Kirk Williams Jr. with an air triple. And that shrinks the lead back down to 10. London getting their shooting back together here in this second quarter. As English gets it inside. Tapped by Friesenladdie. That one stolen. Kyle Johnson gets the alley-oop. That one not able to be held by Williamson. As they're going to roll, it is off of Brodas. And the London Lightning will keep the possession after the fast break. Henderson will send up for the inbound. As they get it to Kirk Williams Jr. Around to Friesenladdie. And what was that? As Kirk Williams Jr. got the pass while on the ground after a foul. And Rashawn Brodas called for the foul, as I don't think Kirk Williams Jr. was expecting the pass there. Both sides laughing it off. And what was an interesting play. Kyle Johnson will set up for the inbound once again. A few discussions between the referees trying to signal things out. As substitution now coming into the game now for the Edge. And that is going to be one of their most recent signings, as I should say here. Battle Age Courage. As Kyle Johnson gets the three-pointer. The three-point line is opening itself up here for the London Lightning. They close the lead to 7. As they have been on fire offensively so far in this second quarter. English calling for the pick from Glaze. Calls for him to go inside instead into the low post. English one-on-one on Williams Jr. Gets the jump shot off to the back off, misses. Courage can't get the rebound. Rebounded by Friesenladdie. Comes across Anderson to Johnson. Johnson with the fadeaway shot draws the foul on English. And English is saying Johnson might have kicked out, but that's going to bring Johnson regardless to the free throw line. And that, I believe, is going to be for 3 free throws. That's Carl English's second foul. As Kyle Johnson sets up, that is the 4th foul of the quarter for the Edge. And Johnson does have experience with the British national team, as he was with the London Lightning for a vast majority of last season, being signed in the past couple of weeks. And joining the squad, of course, making his first appearances with the Lightning this season tonight, as he makes the first 2 free throws. This is a time where rosters are getting finalized here. For example, you have Courage being added with Ellenson from the Edge side. And so for the St. John's Edge, as that is going to be all 3 free throws being made, as London closes the lead to 4. Courage sets the pick for Hinkle. Hinkle can't make the jump shot. And Johnson will lead the charge on the left side. Waits, passes it to Anderson, back to Johnson. Quick flick of a pass, can't get the basket. Can't take advantage of the missed opportunity, as Johnson will set it up. 6 minutes to go here in this first half. As Courage in the post. Spinning. Can't get it over Kirk Williams Jr. Glaze gets the rebound and a foul call before the pass attempt. As it's going to stay Edge ball. That is on Kyle Johnson. And that's the London Lightning's 3rd foul of the quarter. English will send up for the inbound, gets it to Johnson. Gets it now to Charles Hinkle, as he's going to pass it around to English. English gets and draws the reach in. Friesenladdie called for the foul. That's the 4th foul now, just like that. And Joe Friesen with his second foul. Wally Ellenson will come in as Glaze and Courage will now come out of the game. Jerron Henry will come back into the game now for the Edge as well as Johnson drives inside, puts it up, and gets the layup to go in traffic. Alex Johnson, an NBLC veteran, able to get the bucket as that gets us just past the halfway point of the second quarter. Anderson will set up, media timeout approaching as Anderson drives, tries to get the window bucket, can't get it to go. As English will lead the charge down, Johnson waits and hesitates. Works his way through two defenders, can't get the pass though, off to Henry as that one is tapped away. Passing outside now, meanwhile, Ryan Anderson, that time's good. Ryan Anderson down to a three-point lead as London slowly but surely chipping away at this lead. 5 minutes to go here in this first half as English drives, gets it over Friesen Laddie, off-balance shot, wanted the whistle, couldn't get the whistle. As Kirk Williams Jr. brings it down, sets it up for Friesen Laddie. Ryan Anderson tries to drive. Williams Jr. wide open on the perimeter. Johnson will go for the jump shot. Can't get the fadeaway shot inside the paint to go as English gets it and will set up. Gets it now to Wally Ellenson. Ellenson, post move. Can't get it to go off the right side of the rim for him. And a whistle down the floor as Ellenson and Kirk Williams Jr. colliding down the floor. And that's going to get us to our media timeout. And what has been a wild game so far, an interesting game. The London Lightning able to close the gap they had after that first quarter with their shooting improving to 38%. The Edge, they've fallen from what they were in the high 50s down to 45. As they have also started to pile up those turnovers. The London Lightning just 2 turnovers in the second quarter compared to the Edge's 4. 3. As it is just one of those moments where they have just been unable to do that. One thing the London Lightning have been able to do has been keeping Charles Hinkle out of the game. A lot of off-balance shots and a lot of contested shots. Just 5 attempts from the field, 2 of 5 for 4 points and 2 rebounds. Alex Johnson, he's been the one taking the most shots, 5 for 11 though, which has not been good for him. All his made shots are inside the paint. He's had a lot of shots go off the front rim and a couple times three-pointers going long on attempts. Carl English leading the way right now for the Edge. And meanwhile, this charge has been led in part by Ryan Anderson, Kyle Johnson, and Kirk Williams Jr. Kirk Williams Jr. has all 6 of his points in this quarter. Ryan Anderson up to 10 points. Kyle Johnson up to 9 points. All those players able to turn things around. As we are less than 5 minutes to go here in London, Ontario, here in the second quarter. And a lot of the looks, as mentioned by a lot of players and a lot of people watching, not just in attendance, but of course here on Notch From TV's coverage, a great thing to point out was the shots on this run. A lot of the points for the Lightning have been coming from those open looks. I agree with for example, Rome Leader, that you have to close down on the arc because London Lightning are one of those teams that can make threes, but guess what? The Edge are one of those teams too. The London Lightning, though, have been able to edge it out so far on the perimeter side, so they have just been unable to keep up. But right now, pardon me, the Edge are falling back a bit, and the Edge are now trying to set the pace right back. Hinkle makes the jump shot right out of the timeout. 44-39 with 4:23 to go. Dixon Green tries to respond. Unable to get the rebound was Dallenberg. Hinkle drives, can't get the layup. And on his 6th attempt, that one no good as Ryan Anderson gets it to Williamson for the slam. And Garrett Williamson able to get the break, slam dunk. And that shot missed, meanwhile, foul called. As it's going to be Charles Hinkle, the Edge's 5th foul of the quarter, as they still have a 1-possession lead. Dixon Green puts up the three-pointer that could have tied it. just rimmed out as Johnson will bring it back down. Hinkle sets up the pick, and that's going to be a moving screen called on him. And that's going to be the 6th foul. London Lightning are 1 away from the bonus. His 2nd foul for Charles Hinkle. Checking back in now for the edge will be Desmond Lee. Desmond Lee from Norfolk, Virginia. And it'll be in for Charles Hinkle, as Hinkle will take a rest on the bench after drawing his 2nd foul. London Lightning looking to get this lead back to a tie, as they have been trailing for a vast majority of the game so far here at Budweiser Gardens. Friesen Laddie drives in, steps through the defenders, and he draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. And Friesen Laddie, an 85.7% shooter from the free throw line this year, as well as scoring 13 points per game last season. A big crucial part of this championship run after coming from the Halifax Hurricanes. As Friesen Laddie will set up for 2. And Friesen Laddie misses a big free throw. To start off, that could have brought it, if he made both, to a 1-point game. And already Marcus Capers getting set to come back onto the floor now for the Lightning. And this one's good from Friesen Laddie. And there's the substitution with the whistle. And that's going to be coming in for Garrett Williamson, Marcus Capers. As now they bring it down the edge, up by 2 here with 3:30 to go here in this 2nd quarter. Johnson gets the pick from Ellenson. Ellenson calls for it. Johnson stays on the left side, moves to the center, trying to juke his way around. Gets it inside. Henry passes back out. Johnson for the triple. This time no good again. Lee gets the tap in. And Desmond Lee gets the lead up to 4. As quick defensive response as Henry gets the steal for the miscommunication. Lee gets the 3-pointer, misses. Anderson able to get the rebounder. Edge showing off 2 defenders down the floor. Henry draws the charge. And a great heads-up play from Jalron Henry. That was near automatic points from the London Lightning on that break. Martin Dixon Green called for a 2nd personal foul. Kyle Johnson will now come onto the floor for Dixon Green. Both sides making their adjustments here, as Ellenson will have the inbound. Johnson at the point as he's going to bring it down for the St. John's Edge. Quick jump shot on the outside from English, misses. And Johnson, Kyle Johnson getting the rebound across to Friesen Laddie. As Anderson trying to spin by the mismatch. Able to get the fadeaway shot. That one's good. And Ryan Anderson gets it back to a single possession lead. As isolation offense being set up. Henry coming around for the high post. Getting it right for the quick pass to Lee as Ellenson goes in the post. Comes around to English. Passing back to Johnson. An absolutely amazing effort to keep it in bounds, but turns it over. As Kyle Johnson goes for the jump shot, does not even hit the rim. Rebounded by Dallenberg. Inside to Johnson. Johnson's good. And that ties things up here at 46 apiece. And the London Lightning able to tie things back up for the first time since the early 1st quarter. This lead has been completely shrinking down as the quarter has been continuing to go on. As Johnson passes to Henry. Spin move. Loses the handle as there's the dive for the ball. Picked up by Dallenberg. Ryan Anderson leads it. Gets it to Kyle Johnson as he's going to go for the layup. That one blocked from Ellenson. And they're going to say count the basket. And Kyle Johnson gets the points to take the lead. And with that, the London Lightning take the lead 48-46 as Johnson will bring things down. Less than 90 seconds to go here in the first half. Lee calling for Henry to move towards him. Johnson setting up. Henry coming in with Johnson on the drive. Dallenberg gets the rebound but can't keep the handle. As Lee gets it right back. Lee for the triple, misses. This time rebounded by Anderson as he goes behind the back to keep the possession. This one tipped away from Henry, and a great defensive effort once again. And Jarion Henry with a lot of effort on the floor so far tonight for the St. John's Edge on the defensive end. As this one's going to be inbounded now by Anderson. Gets it to Friesen Laddie. Quick shot by Kyle Johnson. That one's good. And the London Lightning are switching things around here. They got a lot of momentum here in the final minute here in the second quarter. Alex Johnson gets it to Lee. Coming around, passing to Carl English. English waiting, drives to the right side of Friesen Laddie. Drives, gets the basket to go. Reduces the lead down to 2. 30 seconds to go. Whistle off the ball. And that's going to be the 7th foul for the Edge. And they're going to say it's a foul on Carl English. And Carl English will go to the bench now with that foul. Charles Hinkle will come in with 28.8 seconds to go here in the first half. It'll be about a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock once we get things back going after the free throw attempts. Just doubling the point total so far. The London Lightning have been over the St. John's Edge throughout this entire quarter so far. As the first free throw misses, trying to make it a 3-point game. Can't do so. Friesen Laddie 1 for 4 from the free throw line, but keeps the possession alive. Down to about 20 seconds to go. 15 on the shot clock. Anderson poked away from Alex Johnson. The Lightning will keep possession. And Friesen Laddie will be the one inbounding it from the side here. As a whistle off the ball on the inbound attempt, Ryan Anderson and Alex Johnson tied up, and that's going to bring Ryan Anderson to the free throw line. And it's an unsporting foul called on Alex Johnson, his second personal of the game. And that's going to put Ryan Anderson to the line. Shot clock is off. London Lightning will keep possession as Anderson makes the free throw. Looking to make the second to stretch things out to a 4-point London Lightning lead. And he does exactly that. Lightning once again keep possession. As Friesen Laddie will set up. They'll elect to go into the backcourt to set up for the play. 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Ryan Anderson telling everyone to slow down. Setting up the play. Dallin Barrett sets the pick. Going for the alley-oop slam. My goodness. Marcus Capers with the alley-oop slam. And the Edge quickly trying to get the shot off. Wally Ellenson misses. And just like that, the London Lightning lead 54-48 after a throwing play from Marcus Capers. We'll take a quick commercial break here on Knockstrom TV. London lead 54-48 over the St. John's Edge. And welcome back to our broadcast booth here at the Budweiser Gardens as the London Lightning continue to lead 54-48 after one half of play in what has been an absolutely fun first half to watch. The Edge at one point had double the points totals coming from London in the first quarter, but just could not keep it up in the second quarter. In terms of scoring for that second quarter, if you've been keeping track, guess what? A 33-14 run for the London Lightning in that second quarter, and what was an ice-cold shooting performance for the Edge, as now the London Lightning able to take this lead. Once again, I am Justin Prince to note as some of the top players to watch for this first half so far. Carl English leading the way for the St. John's Edge in scoring. with 16 points. He's up to 3 personal fouls, though. He's going to be in a bit of foul trouble from here on out, possibly in that second half. For Alex Johnson, it's been an ice-cold shooting night for him. 5 of 13 from the field for just 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, though, to help with his totals, but needing him for sure. Jalrion Henry has been someone that's been stepping up off the stat sheet tonight. He has his 8 points and 5 rebounds, but he's been also drawing a couple charges, able to get deflections and cause defensive pressure on the Lightning side, even with this comeback attempt coming from London in this one. So he has been somebody to watch since the opening tip-off, I should say, here in this one. Charles Hinkle, though, he's been the one to really be a standout player in terms of being held off the score sheet. A lot of contested shots from him and off-balance shots have led to just 6 points for Charles Hinkle after scoring 53 just this past Friday. He's going to have to take his time to get back into this one and has to focus if he wants to be able to move his way back into the contention chance for this. For the London Lightning, it is Kyle Johnson leading the way. 15 points on the night for him. 5 for 11 shooting, along with his 3 rebounds. A big-time signing and someone the London Lightning, as described multiple times, was someone they needed off the bench in terms of scoring. And there's a reason now. In this one, he's leading the way in scoring. Last season, he scored 51 points, and he's having a similar performance tonight in terms of how he's been able to help this London Lightning squad. Ryan Anderson with 14 points, meanwhile, on the night. Here so far for him with 4 of 8 shooting. Marcus Capers, 11 points as well, 5 for 9 shooting. Kirk Williams Jr. also a big part of all the offensive side with 6 points. So a lot of different standout players so far in this first half, that's for sure. But you have to wonder what's going on in terms of some of the stuff that's been going on is when you look at some of the stuff that's been happening in terms of the offensive side, St. John's has just did not have the same ability at times, because if you've seen at times from what you've seen in terms of London, what London is doing as our director continues to check our camera feed, pardon us. Some of the things that have been you've seen there, including that alley-oop play, including the transition defense from St. John's at some points, they did not have that transition defense. That led to that alley-oop play. That led to a few rare chances. It would have been an even bigger lead if it wasn't for players like Jalrion Henry. Jalrion Henry able to step things up for the St. John's Edge on the defensive side. As for the St. John's Edge, they've been having more forced shots. London definitely switching things up defensively, which has worked out for them so far in this one. We're going to go across to the rest of your scores across the NBLC so far, as we are, of course, not the only game. All 10 teams in action here in London, Ontario for tonight's action, as we're going to get you those scores. For example, the Moncton Magic and the St. John Riptide. That game's almost done in the final 6 minutes. 95-83 St. John right now, as the Riptide are currently leading that way. A Riptide with a decent start. The Moncton Magic with a great start themselves with a newly rebranded team, as right now leading the way right now for the St. John Riptide. Gabe Freeman, 23 points, 8 rebounds in that one. Malcolm Miller with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Moving on to the Cape Breton Highlanders. They trail to the Niagara River Lions 87-84 with 5 minutes to go in their fourth quarter, as that game continues to get close in the winding minutes. Halifax, they've just about sealed things off against the Island Storm. In the final 2 minutes, they're out in Halifax at the Scotiabank Center, 104-90 right now for the Halifax Hurricanes. And in Windsor, they just started off their third quarter as they had a more briskly quick pace in what has been an absolute shootout there as well. 54-52 for the Windsor Express over the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans in what has been a back-and-forth game down there. That game, of course, being covered in part by my usual co-host for the Knoxstrom pregame, halftime, and postgame down here, Aaron Sanders. I'd like to say, I hope you're doing a great job down there at the WFCU Center. But with that, you know who's doing a great job? Both of these teams. The London Lightning, though, they had the better second quarter, and they're looking to take that momentum back here in this third quarter coming up in the next few minutes. You're going to have to see them continue to keep up the defensive pressure if they want to continue to lead and make smart offensive shot selections. Now, a lot of times, that has been how they've been able to do it. And switching from the slow pace to the transition was how they got their offense back to Gary. You've seen at the start of the first quarter and most of the first quarter, they went more with a slower shot clock pace, winding down the shot clock to start things off and to slow down the pace on their offense. In turn, they switched it back to a faster pace offense, which was something we've seen more of last season, and their offense completely turned things around. You have to expect that to happen, continue to happen, and you have to expect them to continue to try and push the tempo if you're the London Lightning. For the St. John's Edge, the St. John's Edge, I think you have to try and get yourself, find some ways for the openings. You've been able to get the pick and rolls to work at times, but London was able to catch up to that. You have to find a way to possibly get some more perimeter shots and get your big scores into this game. Charles Hinkle, get Alex English continuing to keep going on his production. Get Alex Johnson to make more than 5 of 13 from the field. You have those players taking those kind of shots. You need to have them making the points you expect them to have if you're going to give them those offensive opportunities. I also kind of expect them to see more pick and roll, but I also expect them to try and get more defensive pressure. Maybe have an extra person back on the transition defense to be able to have the awareness there, because that was originally what London was looking to try and do in terms of stopping the Edge's transition offense. They've kind of flipped the script for tonight's game so far in this one. But with that, are you in a good giving spirit moment? Then why don't you give away some toys to the Salvation Army, because there is a toy drive here tonight. A lot of people bring toys here to the Budweiser Gardens for donations. They are going to represent about 6,600 children here in London, Ontario. Be sure to also donate to St. John's, why don't you, as well, to your local charities to help some children have a great holiday season and their families. With that, though, that's going to wrap things up for the Knockstrom halftime here from London, Ontario. I'm Justin Prince. I'll be back with your call for the rest of the second half in just a few moments here from Budweiser Gardens. London Lightning lead 54-48 here in London, Ontario at the Forest City. Back now live from Budweiser Gardens as the London Lightning lead 54-48 over the St. John's Edge. I'm Justin Prince once again, and welcome everybody back to Knoxstrom TV's coverage of NBLC action. A quick score update coming in from out of town. The St. John Riptide have just come out on top over the Moncton Magic, 110-84. A nice win for St. John in that one, as that one has now finished things up down there in the Atlantic Division. With that, though, of course, we have an exciting matchup you've been watching here in Windsor, Ontario, between the Edge and the Lightning, where I think based on what the discussions were down there, because just before we came back, Ryan Anderson grouped everyone up from the London Lightning and was leading a pep talk for his team, wanting to keep this lead. And we're going to see if they're going to be able to keep that set lead. As Coach Vassell going to see what kind of adjustments he has compared to Coach Dunlap. St. John's Edge, I have to say this though, have had a fantastic start for a franchise in this league. Already a model franchise in so many aspects. Once again, I'd like to say that this is not, I'm not trying to be overly positive. It's just a matter of they have really impressed me from the get-go with the way they've been playing so far, the way their game has been going so far. For the London Lightning, they're trying to turn it around as the defending champions from where they are now at the bottom of the Central Division, of course, to move their way up starting now. The only team ahead of them at the moment who is currently in fourth in the division, the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans, they're playing just their fifth game of the season right now against Windsor down the road at the down Highway 401. So it's going to be a chance right now to move your way up the standings starting right now, as they're going to have to try and hold on to this lead here as we're just about set to go. Final shoot-arounds finishing up as they'll set up at half court. Coming on the floor for the London Lightning, they'll be Garrett Williamson, Ryan Anderson, Joel Friesen-Laddie. Coming back on as well will be Yohini Dallenberg. And also coming on, Marcus Capers, who had an absolutely phenomenal play at the end of that first half. Coming right onto the floor now for the St. John's Edge, Charles Hinkle going to be all set to come onto the floor. Randy Glaze coming on with Carl English, Alex Johnson. And once again coming on is Rashawn Brodez. Williamson will set up for the inbound as we're just about underway and are underway, as Marcus Capers sets up the first possession for the Lightning here in this second half. Gets it to Anderson. Hinkle with the defense as Johnson guarding Friesen-Laddie. Friesen-Laddie drives, draws the foul on the pass attempt. No basket counted, as a few players went falling there on the drive attempt. And Alex Johnson will be called for the foul, his third foul, the team's first foul already in the first 16 seconds. As the Edge looking to rebound offensively from what London had in terms of scoring production in that second quarter. That one misses with the air ball. As the Edge going to lead the charge. Brodez drives inside, passes it. Glaze gets it up and in. And Grandy Glaze gets the lead back to 4. The first points of the third quarter, just like that for the St. John's Edge. As driving inside quickly, Yohini Dallenberg with the quick response. Able to drive himself inside as Glaze gets it around, getting to Johnson. Fans getting into it here at Budweiser Gardens as English backs up outside the perimeter, gets it to Glaze. Glaze with the spin move in the post. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. And Grandy Glaze, a Canadian newcomer from Toronto, is 25 as he's going to go to the line for the first time tonight. Back in 2016, he was the Riley Wallace Award recipient as the top Division I transfer player when he went from St. Louis to Grand Canyon University, as he misses the first of 2 free throws. Of course, joining the NBLC after playing in Mexico last season, as he does have some professional experience and has been having a great season so far, leading the league once again in rebounds as he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Gets him up to 5 points on the night. Gets the lead down to 5 for the London Lightning. As Anderson passes to Capers. Capers Off balance pass to Friesen Laddie. Friesen Laddie has to hesitate, finds Capers open for the three. Misses. Hinkle trying to get the swipe, couldn't get it. Brodez will bring it down. English gets it inside, back to Glaze. Glaze, fadeaway post shot misses, and Williamson gets the rebound. Williamson taking advantage of the defense on the transition offense for the basket. And great awareness from Garrett Williamson to get the basket to make it a 7-point game. English quickly responds meanwhile with the triple. Carl English reduces the lead down to 4. 2 minutes into the third quarter here in London as Capers sets it up. Williamson in the post. Brodez guarding in the post. Williamson makes it right over him. And a great made shot there from Williamson. Williamson just his second made shot of the night. Fans completely excited now after being dead silent at the early going of this one. Glaze drives inside, gets the basket to go. And Grandy Glaze with another nice basket, up to 7 points on the night. As Anderson gets it to Capers. Capers calling it, gets it to Friesen Laddie. Williamson waits at the top, goes on the right side, into the paint, driving, gets it over. 6 straight points for Garrett Williamson. And it's back and forth scoring to start off this third quarter. Charles Hinkle passes it, Carl English gets it. Brodez for the triple, can't get it. Rebounded wide open by Hinkle. Alex Johnson wide open by a country mile, can't make it. And Kyle and Marcus Capers. And we got the rebound. That one deflected coming up the floor. As London keeps the possession alive. Friesen Laddie. How about that for a reactionary three-pointer? Able to stretch the lead to 9. And Friesen Laddie able to make his first three-pointer on the night. As Johnson at the top calls for Carl English. Sizing up Anderson. Down to 3. Reach-in called on Ryan Anderson with 3 on the shot clock. It'll be a fresh 14 now for the Edge. And so far in this quarter, it has been back and forth scoring 8 points apiece. Pardon me, it's London who's been dominating on the score sheet in terms of points. 11-8 advantage so far in the first 4 minutes of this quarter. Marcus Capers, he's gonna slam it down. And a very quick play. You can hear the response from the PA system. As Brodez will set up on the right side, guarded by Capers. Slowing down the offense, the Edge. Brodez moving to the right side, lost the handle, pulls up for the jump shot, misses. Rebounded by Friesen Laddie. And Williamson will lead it down the floor, driving right at Carl English. And he's gonna get the N1. Yes, he's got it. And a big-time quarter for Garrett Williamson. He's gone from having barely any points in the game to 8, just like that, non-stop. Timeout called, Coach Dunlap. As the London Lightning have taken a 69-56 lead. My goodness. A dominant run to start off this third quarter. It's a 15-8 run. And with that, we're going to get a nice breather here as the St. John's Edge look to get the rock back and the momentum back in their way. They trail 56-69 to the London Lightning here at the Budweiser Gardens. Welcome back, everyone, to London, Ontario for more NBLC coverage of the London Lightning as they lead 69-56 here on Knoxstrom TV. I'm Justin Prince, and it has just been a dominating start to this quarter for London as they have taken the momentum and ran away with it after coming with the momentum into the tunnel. Well, out of the tunnel, they got that said momentum rolling with them as well as they lead 69-56. 7:40 to go as that's going to be Garrett Williamson to the line to shoot two after getting an N1 prior to the timeout. Chance to get to 11 points on the night. As some substitutions coming onto the floor meanwhile for the Edge. Rudolph Jolly in the game for the first time today. The former Windsor Express big man is now setting up for the Edge. As now setting up. Brodas gets it to English. Jolly back to English. Little two-man game between Jolly and English. Jolly, he's able to draw the foul, and he'll shoot two. And Jarian Skeet also in the game now as well for the Edge. And Ryan Aninkwabaugh will now come into the game meanwhile for Friesen Laddie. Both teams responding with their adjustments. Kyle Johnson also getting set to go. Instead, they're going to sub him out for Johanny Dallenberg and Kyle Johnson for Friesen Laddie. And Rudolph Jolie will set up for the free throw, misses the first. Coming from the Windsor Express last season, came off their bench this season, moving over to the Edge. Cannot make either free throw, but gets his own miss. Carlo English for the triple, can't get it. Rebounded by Kyle Johnson as Marcus Capers sets up the play on the right side of the court. Brian Anderson sets up in the post with 7 minutes to go in the third. And Marcus Capers, a very bad turnover. And Keith Vassell is beside himself with that turnover. As that's going to keep it a 14-point game. Brodas will set up the offense. Gets to the Skeet. Gets the pick from Jolie. Jolie on the pick and roll. Skeet's going to drive. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. As it's going to be charged at Kinkelbay. The team's fourth foul for the London Lightning in this quarter already, and we're not even halfway through this quarter. Skeet will now take two shots for the first time tonight. A 66% shooter, 67% shooter on the season. As he'll set up for the second free throw. This time it's good. Shrinks the lead back to 12. As the London Lightning immediately rush down the floor. Capers moving from the right side to the left. Johnson gets it back to Capers. Capers drives inside, trying to go for a layup. Yes, he's got it. And Capers able to get the basket. And Hinkle trying to respond. Yes, that one's good. Charles Hinkle, now 8 points on the night for him. Quick response from London. Ryan Anderson pulls up, misses. And that was already nearby the Budweiser Gardens logo. As Carl English quickly gets it. Trying to call the pick from Jolie. And foul called. Edge keep possession. Desmond Lee will now come back into the game. Also in Kirk Williams Jr. As Lee will be the one inbounding it on the side. Gets it to Brodas. Brodas guarded by Anderson as he gets it to English. Double teamed, and the double team falls off. Gets it to Jolie. Jolie tries to get the spin move, and that's going to be a whistle for travel. And Jolie with the turnover could not get the feet pivoting around properly. Now that's going to give London back the possession, still up by 12. Kyle Johnson, quick double team, coming around Capers. Kirk Williams Jr. trying to rush around, gets it to Johnson. Right from the top of the three-point line. Anderson no good off the front rim. As Carl English will set up for the offensive side, sizing up Capers. Gets Capers off balance, gets the jump shot. Coach Dunlap's definitely happy after that one as the lead's down to 10. Capers sets it up. Capers quick pass to Kyle Johnson as that one's no good. And a quick pace on offense from the Lightning. The Edge slowing it down a bit compared to their first half and what we expect to see for them. As Brodez gets the pick, runs around Kirk Williams Jr. way off the mark with a layup. Ryan Anderson brings it down, and he is down on the floor. Garrett Williamson misses the shot, and that does not look good. Ryan Anderson, I believe, got hit in the nose. Immediately getting up after being down to the floor, they called the whistle. As they'll clean things up, Ryan Anderson staying on the floor. Rudolph Jolly will call for the foul, I should say. As they clear things up, Kyle Johnson quickly gets it to Anderson. And Anderson can't get it to go, but Kyle Johnson gets the free throws. And you see the slap from the hand, slap 5 from Mo Bolden on that missed shot, as Kyle Johnson's going to go to the line to shoot 2. 15 points on the night for him so far, along with 3 for 3 shooting from the free throw line. And that is coming off the bench too, leads London in scoring. Jarion Henry is getting set to come back onto the floor for the Edge. Already setting up for the transition defense. London has already bring 3 players down the floor. Henry in the game. And now he'll be coming in for Carl English. And the Edge will have the possession back, still down by 12 here with 4 minutes, 44 seconds to go here in this third quarter. Hinkle drives from across the court. Joey gets the move and the post, misses. Rebound by Johnson, but couldn't keep the handle. They're going to say it's off of Henry. And the Lightning get the possession right on back. Marcus Capers having a great performance as well for him as well. Kirk Williams Jr. though misses, rebounded by Henry. And Henry with another good rebound, another quick offensive possession set up. Hinkle gets the pick from Henry, pick and roll set up. Hinkle will pull up for the jump shot, that one's good. And Charles Hinkle makes the jump shot. Stripped away meanwhile, as that's going to be called for the reach in. Williamson draws the foul, Edge called for the foul. As that's going to be the 4th foul for the Edge. It's going to be on Charles Hinkle, his 3rd foul. Team's 5th foul now. As Kyle Johnson gets it off. Marcus Capers. And Kyle Johnson open for 3, a quick response. Could not get the basket. As Charles Hinkle able to get the rebound inside. Brodez quickly trying to take advantage of the defense. Lee unable to make it right off the front rim. And Kyle Johnson will quickly bring things back down as Ryan Anderson gets it to Williamson. Williamson, fadeaway shot, that one's good. Garrett Williamson is just a red-hot shooter tonight. That's a turnover, meanwhile, from the Edge. And Williamson almost got 4 consecutive points. Very close to the play right there for the more points. Brodez, meanwhile, passes it back to Hinkle. And this one's going to roll all the way back for a backcourt violation. A costly turnover, as that's going to be now the 12th of the game for the Edge. That just evens them up now with the Lightning. As the London Lightning get all set to go, Martin Dixon Green now set up for the free throws. As we are having a very special surprise guest, the Deputy Commissioner of the National Basketball League of Canada, Audley Stevenson. Good afternoon, Audley.
Justin, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. There's a little Sunday afternoon basketball.
Yes, a very action-packed day. All 10 teams in action across the league today.
No kidding. My goodness.
As Capers, with the quick passing, misses the shot while Dixon Green gets the basket. Of course, you're coming into this. Of course, there's a lot of things going on across the league, Mr. Stevenson. And what are your thoughts on how things are going on in the early going for the NBLC in your first season as the Deputy Commissioner?
Well, when you see the kind of performances on the court, I mean, I look at a guy like Charles Hinkle that had 53 points, where you saw firsthand the other night. Kyle Johnson, Mr. 53 points, 51, I believe, last year. He just hits a three here. So, I mean, there's never a shortage of talent, action, and activity on the court. And I still remain a fan of this league for that very same reason.
And right now, as you see the Edge setting up for their possession, Broadus will go for the jump shot, and that one misses, rebounded by Dixon Green. But, of course, with 2 minutes to go in this third quarter, one of the expansion teams for this season is the St. John's Edge. As Garrett Williamson gets the basket. As we get a timeout called from the Edges, now they're down by 19. What
a run.
Thoughts on a big-time run for sure. What are your thoughts on the Edge with how they've been so far in the early going?
I mean, the top team in the league. I think you got to respect what they've done. I think we got to take the word expansion label off them because they're anything but that. The Edge's ownership group was here and had a chance to talk with them just before I came up here, and they're quite pleased as to how the team is doing this season thus far. Enough can't be said about Carl English and what he's done for that team, the city. Brought in that excitement, that energy, and that enthusiasm. So, it's easy from my position to watch all this because it's just thoroughly exciting and hey, good basketball.
It definitely has been good basketball this season. Now, I got to ask you this, of course. In the recent days, there was the suspension situation with Royce White and Ryder Anderson, and there was a little bit of pushback from that. Can I get your comments on that, if that is okay about that situation? No, the situation's resolved with the suspension now ruled. What about the people who say otherwise, so to speak, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, I really can't comment on what other people are saying. I mean, ultimately, we exercised the rules. There was a ruling based on our operations manual, and that's how we proceeded. The London Lightning exercised their right to appeal, which they've done. An independent body heard the information provided and made a ruling, and that's really it. I mean, I can't really comment on what other people think or what they feel. Ultimately, we exercise a transparent process. It was a process that I was a part of from beginning to scratch, and this is how it played out.
I just thought I would ask you about that with you being on, of course, as the Deputy Commissioner of the NBLC, as action's back underway. You mentioned a lot of the competitiveness in this league. How do you hope to keep that going forward in your position? Because it has been a pretty good start for the season, to say the least.
Well, it's easy. I mean, let the guys play.
Of course.
There's not a whole lot I got to do in that regard. Let them play, and part of what we want to do as a league is create that atmosphere where players can ply their trade, so to speak, and I think a lot of our teams are doing that. And so it's that part's super easy. And
as there's a foul off the ball on the play right there, I believe Capers ruled on the foul. As one thing I also want to ask, what are some things that are in the upcoming ways in terms of things the league is working on behind the scenes, so to speak, to increase the quality of the league as a whole, not just with the playing, of course, but off the court as well?
Yeah, we're a big part. We're going to engage in a partnership with an organization called Global Basketball. They're going to come on board as a marketing and digital partnership to help grow our commercial properties. We'll have a news release in the coming days about that. There's some formalities that need to take place with respect to contracts and executing and things of that nature. But we are excited about that partnership. Because that will have a direct, we look at that as a huge opportunity to grow the league. So we are definitely thinking and have been continuously thinking about growth and how we get larger and better and really do it the right way, as opposed to sort of what's that saying? They say how do you eat an elephant with small bites, right? It's one bite at a time. So that's what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And right now the Edge are trying to take small bites out of this London Lightning lead as it's up to 19.
Man, what a game! I mean, you look at the start by the Edge, and now the Lightning have responded back in a big way.
And Dixon Green able to make the triple, up to 22 points this lead. If you have any questions for the Deputy Commissioner of the NBLC, Audley Stevenson, this is the right time to ask as well. Be sure to send your comments here on Action TV. As, of course, you see Charles Hinkle and
here we go. Kyle
Johnson called for the reach-in.
Welcome back with the throwdown.
As now whistle called, as that's going to be a foul before the shot in the slam dunk attempt. And an unsporting foul called on Wally Ellenson. Has a lot going on as we're having this discussion. That's going to bring Kyle Johnson to the line to shoot too. Now, of course, we have mentioned there's a lot of things, of course, going on. What else do you want to discuss, of course, with you being on here in London, Ontario, of course, for today's broadcast?
I'm just enjoying what we're seeing. I mean, it kind of goes back to the quality of play here. I mean, I continuously go back to that. And yes, I'm a fan of the league, and yes, I sit in this role, but the quality of play is big, and I enjoy it. I mean, for me, the focus has always been on basketball, and how we can get better and improve our quality brand and product.
Well, I have one more question for you once we finish up this possession, because we are at about a half-second difference. As Capers gets it to Johnson for the triple. That one's no good. Wally Ellenson able to tap it to Charles Hinkle for the rebound. And the London Lightning up 91-67 after 3 quarters of play, up by 24 points. As one thing I do want to ask, as you hear the fan reaction, what has your experience been with the fans visiting all the different markets across the NBLC as the Deputy Commissioner? From your previous role, of course, you did a lot of media work for the NBLC over the years, before moving to the Deputy Commissioner's side. How has the reaction been, in your opinion, from the fans themselves?
Yeah, the fans are excited. They are engaged. They do enjoy our product. I think the fans in our league are incredible. They're awesome, and probably one of the most fulfilling parts of the job for me, because what they validate all of the great things we think about this league, and to hear and feel that energy and that excitement kind of motivates me to want to do better and do more and continue to think of ways that we can improve. So I think hands down we got the best fans in the league.
And one thing I also want to ask that just came in from Stu Switzer was oddly asking what are your thoughts on potentially upping the salary cap for the NBLC? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean that's all part of the growth process, and I don't think it's necessarily a situation where we don't want to grow, but we want to ensure that all our markets are able to sustain that kind of growth the right way. And I think that's where the league comes in and has a role in assisting with that. But it's all about growth. We want to grow a lot of things. We want to grow our Canadian content. We want to grow the salary cap. We want to grow our teams. There's a lot of things that we want to do growth-wise, but it's got to be done the right way.
And how do you look to grow in terms of the league itself as well? Because basically how is things looking in terms of potential expansion in the upcoming seasons? As you said you want to expand the right way. What are some of the possible places that it could end up being the best places to grow the right way?
Well, right now there aren't. I can't say there's an active applications that we have in place right now, but we do receive a fair amount of inquiries and interest. So that has always been the case, and that still remains high. And So there isn't anything definitive I can say here, and here. But I can tell you that there is interest in doing so.
That is good for sure. Of course, Sudbury as well is going to be entering the league next season. Henry, meanwhile, drawing the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot two. Lightning still lead 91-67. Is there anything else you would like to say that I didn't ask about at all before I let you get going?
Justin, you nailed all the bases once again. Thank you, and I appreciate the work that you're doing up here. I know how hard it is to call a game by yourself as Jerry and grazed the front iron on that first free throw. Great job and keep up the good work, my friend.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the time, and thank you very much for the surprise.
No problem, man. My pleasure.
Thank you very much. That was Audley Stevenson, the Deputy Commissioner of the NBLC. Thank you very much once again for the time. London Lightning now lead 91-68 as Joel Friesenlandi gets it to Stephon Barrett. Passed across to Kirk Williams Jr. as Kyle Johnson drives inside and able to get the basket. And Kyle Johnson spreads the lead to 25. As Henry gets it down low to Glaze. Glaze gets the basket. Quick back and forth baskets.
So these are the comments so far. He's not licensed in high definition, but we are licensed in high definition.
And right now, as you can see, the London Lightning still up in this game.
Maybe is not the best part of it because this is platform 2.1.
Dixon Green brings it down the floor. 1 minute into this fourth quarter. As Kirk Williams Jr. gets it to Barrett. Down to the post for Johnson. Johnson, post move spin. That one misses. Rebounded as here comes Glaze. Johnson leads the charge on the left side. Skeet waits on the side for the substitution as Alex Johnson gets the basket. What a bit of frustration from Friesenlandi on the basket allowed. Leads down to 21. 4 quick points. Driving inside. Look at that friendly roll-in from Joel Friesenlandi. That's a quick way respond. He's quickly responding on the defensive side as Glaze. Quick pass around, gets it to Lee. Lee misses. Rebounded by Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson quickly gets it to Dixon Green, meanwhile, as English sets up for the defense. Desmond Green guarding Barrett. As Barrett wide open to Kirk Williams Jr. misses, rebounded by English. And how about that for a little bit of English on the rebound? Carl English looking for a little bit of English on the offensive side, misses. Just rimmed out. London still leads 95-72. As that pass, bit of miscommunication. Kyle Johnson still wide open, misses. A big opportunity there. Alex Johnson, meanwhile, gets it to Glaze. And finally, keeping up that transition offense. Exactly what they've been known for a lot of times this season. As that brings it back to 21, this lead. Barrett will set up on the outside perimeter. Gets it to Dixon Green. Dixon Green drives. And a whistle down the side as I believe that is going to be a turnover. Yes, I think that was actually out of bounds. And quick adjustments coming onto the floor now as Marcus Capers comes back into the game now for the London Lightning. Coming in as well, Jerry and Skeet. That was the third foul there called for down the baseline on that one as well. As English gets it to Glaze. Glaze stepping through. Whistle called. Has no basket called on that one. Marcus Capers drawed for his fourth. London already 5 fouls in the fourth quarter, and it's already been 3 minutes into this quarter. That's going to put Randy Glaze to the line to shoot 2. Glaze tonight, 1 for 2 from the line so far. Has for 7 points along with his 8 rebounds. Make that 1 for 3. As he's had a little bit of a defensive presence as well for this team. As Glaze Able to get 1 for 2 once again. The lead's trimmed to 20. Just edging their little bit off the scoreboard, one piece by one piece. As Ryan Anderson misses, couldn't get the rebound. Stephon Barrett. Carl English will have the inbound for the Edge. Quick pass meanwhile to Charles Hinkle. Hinkle can't make the shot. Ryan Anderson chases down the rebound as he passes across Friesen Laddie. Gets it to Barrett. Barrett misses. Could not get the rebound. Skied as Dallenberg tried to chase it out. And the Edge get the possession back. That one going out of bounds. Still a 20-point game. Jerron Skied leading the offense here. Gets it to English. Thinks about it with a contested jump shot. Outside, double teamed, open glaze. Down to 5, going in the post, drawing the whistle. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Joe Friesen Laddie not happy there because that is a costly foul. Dallenberg's 4th, and just a correction, the team's 4th. And the Glaze will be back to the line once again to shoot 2. Granny Glaze 3 for 5 from the line now. Up to 15 points scoring as well. As he misses the first of 2. 50% on average from the game, making 1, missing 1 each time he's been to the line. As quickly responding as Ryan Anderson gets the pass from Dallenberg. 8 minutes to go here in London. As Anderson trying to work his way by Skied. Gets it to Barrett. Barrett passed out. That one's almost deflected out of bounds off Capers. Capers pulls up for the jump shot with 1 on the clock. Gets the bank to go. Marcus Capers with the basket. And a big 3 out of the right time for him. Whistle called off ball. And whistled team's 5th foul for the London Lightning meanwhile. And once again, Knockstrom TV would like to remind you to be sure to watch today's game in HD. HD, the best way to watch anything in 2017. As Carl English gets it inside. Korich puts it up, misses, rebounded by Friesen Laddie. And Glaze reaches in, trying to possibly draw a jump ball. He's going to be called for the whistle and the foul. That's just the first foul of the quarter. Just his 2nd personal as well. Capers will bring it back down the floor. 7:23 to go here in London. As Anderson, quick pass to Dallenberg inside for the basket. And the fans are definitely excited out of their minds. They're going to say there's a foul on that one too. It's going to be an and-1 situation. Glaze 2 consecutive fouls in about 10 seconds. Rudolph Joey will come into the game now for the Edge. Quickly substituting out Glaze after the 2 quick fouls. Johanny Dallenberg to the line for the first time today. Of course, related to Samuel Dallenberg. As he makes the free throw, gets the lead up. Slowly increasing once again, 101-76. Skied gets it off to English. Friesen Laddie gets the switch from Dallenberg on the zone. 3-2 zone from London with 10 seconds on the clock. English puts it up for 3. This time it's good. Carl English, just 5 of 12 from deep today, going ice cold even as the leading scorer for the Edge tonight. As Dallenberg almost got the slam, able to draw the whistle and the foul. And everyone's getting set to go. Once again, Dallenberg will set up for the free throw. Johanny Dallenberg, 2nd time to the line so far tonight. 5 points, 4 fouls, but still able to get 4 rebounds, as he adds the first of 2 free throws. And just like that, both free throws made, as it's 103-79. Hinkle drives immediately inside. That was blocked by Barrett and Dallin Barrett, I think, as Capers leads the charge. And an intentional foul, or reach in, I should say, from Skeet. Garrett Williamson's going to come in. And that's going to be the team's 4th foul. Just a few moments ago, the Edge had 0 fouls as well, so they've completely flipped the script. Dallin Barrett will set up the inbound, as Capers gets it guarded by Hinkle at the top. Calling for the pick as William Anderson moves behind him. Capers trying to throw it down on top of Hinkle. Just could not get the poster, as passed across to Jolie. Jolie, mismatch on Capers, cannot get it in the post. Dallin Barrett gets the rebound, and Anderson brings it down the floor. Anderson just going to pull up for 3. That one looked like it was off the mark, as that's going to be off the side stanchion. Wally Ellenson comes in now for Charles Hinkle. Six minutes to go in this one in a big-time gap of a game. Courage posting up, spinning around, guarded by Williamson. Gets it out to English. Courage trying to set the pick. English sizing up, 5 on the clock, drives inside, able to get the bucket to go. And the former 2013 Spanish League scoring title player, able to get the basket inside, brings the lead down to 103-81. Ryan Anderson trying to change that, misses the 3-pointer. And the Edge continues to struggle offensively, especially in the second half. As Skeet drives inside, able to get the bucket. Down to 20, substitution. Kyle Johnson comes in for Joel Friesenladdie. And that's going to also be an immediate timeout. London Lightning lead 103-83 with 5 minutes to go in this one. For comparisons for how ice cold they have gone at this point, in the first quarter, after the first quarter, it was about 57% shooting for this St. John's Edge. They've dropped to 42% for the game. 34 of 81 shooting. And for the second half, they do have the advantage in the fourth quarter, but because of that 37-19 third quarter they allowed, they are way in the hole at this point, down 20. Here's the thing, they had a similar comeback after the third quarter against Windsor. Can they do it with even less time? We're going to have to find out, that's for sure. And speaking of Windsor, how about we get across to the rest of your scores? Because, as mentioned, we are one of many games across the league, all 10 teams in action. Once again, St. John Riptide coming away with the victory, 110-84. As that one finished up about 10-20 minutes ago. Final in overtime, the Niagara River Lions beat the Cape Brennan Highlanders 113-109. It was a competitive matchup over there. That game finished up, of course, as the Halifax Hurricanes won by 10 over the Island Storm, 106-96. Wow, the Windsor Express and Kitchener-Waterloo Titans? Well, you may as well start biting your nails if you're also a fan of the Windsor Express, because they're up by 1 with 4 seconds to go at the WFCU Center. That is going to be an absolutely crazy finish, but we've seen crazy finishes before in the NBLC. Let's see if we're going to have an even wilder one here tonight, as Williamson gets it off to Capers. On the floor for the Lightning, Akambe as well on the floor. Kyle Johnson, Ryan Anderson, Garrett Williamson, Marcus Capers. As Kyle Johnson spins, passes out to Ryan Anderson. 6 on the clock with 5 minutes to go. Steps back for the 3 over Skeet, misses. Rebounded by English. As there's the fast-paced offense. Ellenson pump fakes, able to get inside to Hinkle. Hinkle gets it to Ellenson. Ellenson pump fakes. Still ice cold from the field since joining the Edge. Just one made field goal since joining the team. Williamson, he's turned around his ice cold start to the game with continuing to produce here in the second half. It's the lead to 22. English, he's going to try and change that right back. Unable to make the fadeaway jump shot out of bounds. Runs over a sign. And Kyle Jumpton get with the amazing play. Absolutely amazing play. Charles Hinkle drives inside. Gets the basket in contested land. As this is down to 4 minutes to go. Back and forth scoring. Kitchener, Waterloo, and Windsor now officially tied up at 103 apiece. Agumbe in the post on Hinkle. Agumbe misses. Rebounded by Alex Johnson. And Alex Superman Johnson gets it to Wally Ellenson. And can't get the basket. Gets his own miss. He's going to shoot a contested shot and draw the foul to shoot three. And he's going to go to the free throw line. Rudolph Jolie coming back in the game as well as Courage. Fourth foul called there after the shot attempt from Ellenson. Ellenson, a fan favorite last season with the Windsor Express, where he had a breakout time with the Express where he started off slow, worked his way off from bench warming duties, and eventually made his first start, where he recorded 20-plus points in his first start with the Windsor Express. He ended up with the season about 15 points per game and was a nickname at that point down at the WFCU Center, Wally World. Wally World has not been open quite yet, and St. John's in Newfoundland, as he makes the first free throw, makes one free throw, makes two free throws. Alex Johnson now out. Desmond Lee back into the game. Lee down to 19 with less than 4 minutes to go. London Lightning trying to wind things down. Spin move by Agumbe. He's blocked. Foul called on the side, as I believe that's going to put them to the line. Yes, it will with the 6. Both teams in range of the bonus. 6 fouls apiece. 6 fouls, I should say, for the Lightning. 5 for the Edge here in this fourth quarter as Agumbe misses. And of course, there's a lot of action throughout this entire season. Be sure to check out our next home game broadcast here on Noctrum TV for the London Lightning, as on Friday, December 22nd, the Niagara River Lions will be coming into town. Agumbe misses both free throws, and you can watch to see if he can make one free throw at 7 p.m. on December 22nd. Skeet gives it to Ellenson. Ellenson pulls up for another jump shot, misses. And Anderson quickly getting the flick of a pass to Williamson. Gets it to Kyle Johnson. Kyle Johnson! No, he cannot get that one as Ellenson gets the board. Whistle called, and that's going to be on Ryan Anderson, I believe. And that will put the Edge in the bonus for the final 3 minutes of regulation. It's going to be Kyle Johnson with the foul just a second. That's going to be over the limit. Into the line now, Wally Ellenson. Wally Ellenson will go to the line once again after having his first attempts a few moments ago. 0 for 2 at the line, make that 0 for 3. 0 for 4 from the field, I should say. As he's going to miss this free throw, make this free throw, I should say. Gets the lead to 107-89 as the Lightning will try and wind things down, try and slow down the tempo. No need for urgency here as Anderson, quick flick to Johnson for the 3, misses. Skeet gets the rebound as he'll lead the charge. As Skeet just pulls up for the 3, misses. Agumbe gets the rebound. Anderson pushes it forward. Gets it inside. Garrett Williamson barely gets it through for the layup. Stretches the lead again to 20. That elastic band getting a lot of stretch tonight. Rudolph Jolie now in the post. He's going to miss the brim and then some. As it's rebound by Anderson. Gets it to Williamson. Williamson somehow came up with a pass. He's got the N1. Yes, sir. And Garrett Williamson, he's been producing like game busters tonight. That was a quick swing in terms of points. Garrett Williamson now with 21 points. Make that 22. As that is second on the team in scoring. Kyle Johnson with 29 points on 9 of 20 shooting tonight. And what has been a great performance of him as well. 18 points from Marcus Capers in the starting lineup. Ryan Anderson 14. And that shot missing meanwhile outside. 2 minutes to go in this one. As the Edge, they'll have a lot to talk about on this road trip as this one's missed. Lee tries to chase it down, goes out of bounds. And he's just going to sit down with the rest of the fans at this point. And I think they might call a technical for that. No, they're calling a whistle. And the officials are calling a timeout to discuss things after a moment, as you've seen there, where Desmond Lee decided to sit down with the fans. Both teams deciding to take the time for discussions. And something is going on. In fact, there is a player down in the corner for the London Lightning. It is Marcus Capers now being checked out by the training staff. That was in the far corner. A couple fans from the bench getting up to check on him. As he'll go to the bench. Rough moment for him as he'll go to the bench and rest up. This is a team already with Julian Boyd, Mo Bolden, and Junior Cadogan all recovering from injuries from last season. Skeet brings it down. Skeet slowing it down, just going to pull up for the triple. He's got it. And Skeet able to get up to 9 points on the night. With a minute 33 to go, still a 20-point lead. I think if you're St. John's, you'll have a lot to talk about after seeing how this one went down. Especially after a couple days ago where they came away with the win from coming back from a similar situation. And Joey, meanwhile, he's going to try and rim down the rim with the slam dunk. Leads down to 18, but regardless, Carl English, 26 points in the night. Wally Ellenson gets the steal as Desmond Lee will slow it down. Gets it across to Skeet. Quick pass to Courage. Courage tries to get the slam. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. And the Edge not giving up. They do not want to give up the rock. They want to defend the rock as much as possible. As they still, after tonight, will be, in terms of the standings, they will be 8 and 4 on the season. Niagara moving themselves, meanwhile, to 6 and 4. So standings starting to get a bit more closer in the Central. Courage going to make the first of 2 free throws. With European experience when joining the team with Wally Ellenson. As after this, the Edge, they get a long Christmas break after this as well. They do not play until January 9th when the Windsor Express come into town and onto the Rock. As that'll be a back-to-back January 9th and 10th. Kyle Johnson trying to get the pick, meanwhile, as Courage gets a contest with 8 on the shot clock. Johnson falls back. Agumbe gets the basket. Akinkobe gets the basket. As Ellenson, quick transition offense, able to take advantage of the defensive slowdown. And Wally Ellenson, that's just his first made field goal. That one missed, tapped out. Skeet will inbound. 28.7 seconds to go. And the Edge trying to close things out. As Skeet, Akinkabe guarding. Gets it to Lee. Lee drives inside, he throws it down. And that will shut off the shot clock. And just like that, the fans will get up on their feet as everyone's just about set to go. The London Lightning come away with a gigantic victory at home, 114-100. As the Edge trying to steal it away before the end of the game. And the Edge not wanting them to wind things down as both coaching staffs having to break things up with 0.9 seconds to go. Well, you're seeing now, if you are following through, the fans now on their feet. Both coaching staffs and the referees separating things with 0.9 seconds. Desmond Lee called for the foul. Team's over the limit, so the Lightning with less than a second to go will go to the line possibly here, depending on the official decision. Coach Keith Vassell trying to break things up. Lee discussing things with the officials with 0.9 seconds on the clock. Assistant coaches now from the St. John's Edge, leading his team players back to the bench. Lightning also waiting for the ruling and discussions from the officials. I'm gonna have to triple check what exactly just happened with that, because that was an awkward sequence of events that we just witnessed there. Officials trying to discuss things once again. What was a very competitive game, London still up by 14 regardless. And Keith Vassell discussing things as well. That was just as they were trying to wind down the clock. Looks like things are finally cleared up. And Kyle Johnson will go to the line to shoot two, with 0.9 seconds to go. And the Edge players discussing things on the bench. Lee goes up to 15. And make that now 16 points. Kyle Johnson makes the basket. And now the Edge will have Desmond Lee go to the line to shoot two. And Lee's going to make the first free throw. A confusing sequence of events. As the Edge are ruled to have the possession with just less than a second to go. Absolutely confusing sequence of events in the final second of a 15-point lead. As Ellenson will just drive it in for the basket. And that's going to count. The London Lightning come up with the victory, 116-103. As the Lightning move themselves to move forward towards in their standings, chases, as that's their third victory on the season. For the Edge, it's just their fourth loss for the first season for the St. John's Edge. Once again, final score 116-103, London Lightning. We'll have all your post-game stats in just a few moments with an Ackstrom post-game. And we'll be back here in just a few moments here from the Forest City. Once again, Lightning won 116-103. And as you see, the last of the dance pack celebrating a victory tonight as the London Lightning come up on top 116 to 103 here at Budweiser Gardens. Once again, I'm Justin Prince here with the Knockstrom postgame, as it was an exciting matchup to watch. And in the end, though, the London Lightning just took over in the second half, because in terms of their team comparison scoring, the shooting percentage absolutely tanked throughout that second half. And after the first quarter, 57%. St. John's, they lost the lead, and after the second quarter, they fell to 41% for this game. Just 35 of 85 shooting, including that dunk from Wally Ellenson. London, they looked terrible to start off. It was like a light switch flipped if you were watching this game in terms of the turnovers, in terms of the shooting, in terms of the defense, because they went from 30% shooting in the first quarter to overall in the game 45.6% shooting. In terms of turnovers, London led that amount still 16 to 14, but it wasn't as bad as it seems if you look at a glance, because after the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, they had just 8 turnovers after having 6 in the first quarter, turning things around. Points off turnovers, 18 points apiece in this one. As well, the bench points, 49 points coming from that London Lightning bench, which is absolutely incredible. And that was led by Kyle Johnson, 31 points tonight. 9 of 24 shooting, 9 for 9 from the stripe, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Talk about a homecoming from a member of last season's championship run team. Garrett Williamson, he absolutely destroyed the Edge defense in the second half. 22 points on the night overall with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Because then he was at the bottom of the score sheet. Catapulted himself up to second on that score sheet overall. Marcus Capers, 18 points on the night before having to exit the game due to an injury along the space line. With a few minutes to go, we hope he's okay. We'll update you with his status as soon as we can for our next broadcast. Martin Dixon Green also had 10 points. Dallin Burt 7 with 6 rebounds. Kirk Williams Jr. just had 6 frees. And Laddie, a quiet night, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. For the Edge, Carl English led the way with 10 and 19 shooting, but he went ice cold for parts of this game along with that St. John's Edge offense. I'm not sure how to exactly describe what we've seen with what their offense happened. They just did not get the same shots going in. A lot of shots bouncing off the front rims. And in the end, London was able to step it up on the defensive end to take away from this win. Regardless, though, English with his 5 fouls on top of that, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 3-pointers, 5 everything. Grandy Glaze, 16 points on the night tonight, just 8 rebounds, 3 fouls for him as well of note. Alex Johnson, he turned things around somewhat. 16 to 16 shooting, 12 points. He still had 6 assists with 5 rebounds. At one point, he was the top rebounder in the first half. Jerion Henry with 9 points on the night as well with 8 rebounds. Charles Hinkle, after scoring 53 on Friday, he had a quiet night. 6 of 13 shooting, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. So slowing down production-wise for one of the top scorers for the St. John's Edge. Wally Ellenson got himself 8 points. Jerron Skeet, 9 points. And Desmond Lee also had himself 5 quiet points on the night. With that, though, it was an exciting game to watch, that's for sure. And as a lot of people describe it, it was definitely a game where London played excellent after turning things around with strategy in the first quarter, going from the slower-paced offense to the quicker pace to the exciting plays that you've seen from players like Marcus Capers. With that, though, we're just going to finish things up here on Knockstrom TV. What was an exciting matchup, that's for sure, here in London, Ontario. Once again, the final score here from London, Ontario, 116 to 103 over the St. John's Edge. With that, everybody, we'd like to say thank you for the rest of our production crew. For Knockstrom TV, I'm Justin Prince, and I'd like to say good night and enjoy your drives home, fans. Once again, London comes out on top for a big third victory.